Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, make sure you check us out on Patreon at www.patreon.com/Hookah Anonymous _. You guys been telling us to create one for the longest, so we recently created a community where we will upload videos that we can't share on YouTube due to their guidelines, but we'll also be dropping the latest to there first, behind the scenes information that you wouldn't find anywhere else on our socials. So make sure you become a member, and after you do that, head over to our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _ and follow us there. Now without further ado, let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, I don't know if this is news that slipped past people's heads, or maybe some people may just not care too much about the RICO case involving Big U, but I haven't seen too many people speaking on it. Big U have just been denied release and will have to sit in jail until his trial, despite him feeling as if he was going to be able to be released. Now, I told y'all before, after Brick Baby and Loose Cannon was denied bond, that should have told Big U right then and there that it was no hope. Because according to the indictments that's been passed down in federal complaints, although they've all been charged for playing separate roles, some of their charges seem to be more serious than others. When it comes to Big U's charges, his trump all of theirs, as he's not only being hit with fraud and running a criminal organization like the mob, he's also facing charges including him allegedly taking a young man's life. Somehow, someway, Big U was still confident that he'll be granted a bond when his hearing came up today after pleading not guilty on April 8th of this year. Now, according to a federal criminal complaint, Big U is widely regarded as a leader within the Rolling 60s and rose to dominance within the street gang during the 1980s. The complaint states that Big U's enterprise acted as a distinct and independent criminal enterprise engaged in various crimes, including extortion, robbery, trafficking, and exploiting sex workers, fraud, and illegal gambling. It alleges that he used his role within the Rolling 60s to partner with his own enterprise and intimidate businesses and individuals within Los Angeles. In the 43-count indictment, it included charges against Big U consisting of racketeering, fraud, extortion, and embezzlement. Prosecutors accused Big U of putting on the facade as a reformed gang member within the community who claims to want to help guide kids and surrounding businesses, but in reality, his charity organizations were just a front for money laundering and extortion of rappers and athletes within Los Angeles. Basically, whoever you seen donating to the charity on a consistent basis, it looks like that was really extortion fees going into the pockets of Big U, hidden by a charity company. On top of all those charges, he's also being accused of submitting a fraudulent application for a pandemic relief loan back in 2019, claiming his unique music label was netting a $200,000 profit in 2019 when it really operated at a $5,000 loss that year. Now, although a lot of those charges sound steep, the one that seemed to hold the most time is the accusation of Big U having involvement in the unaliving of his artist, who was also his son's best friend. Rayshawn Williams was signed to Big U's unique music label, and according to records, him and Big U would get into it with each other for unknown reasons. It's alleged that in January of 2021, Big U paid Rayshawn to travel to Las Vegas to work with an unidentified producer. At the time, it was known that Rayshawn allegedly recorded a diss song to Big U, in which Big U wasn't too fond of. So Big U, along with another affiliate, allegedly traveled to Las Vegas, picked Rayshawn up, and drove him to North Las Vegas, where he was shot in the head and his body was dragged off Interstate 15 into a desert, where his remains will be found in a ditch, according to the federal complaint. It's alleged that when Big U and his accomplice got back to Los Angeles, he told studio workers to leave while someone removed security surveillance footage from the studio, then ordered witnesses not to speak with police about the unaliving of Rayshawn. It's rumored that Big U even told his own son via wiretaps not to speak on his best friend's body for whatever reason that was. Now, on top of all of that, before Wack 100 will retract everything he said via social media about Big U, he had a phone recording of the victim's mother and sister, with the mother stating that she knows for a fact Big U was the suspect behind her son's unaliving, and even said that the feds told her not to say too much. She said that he kept ducking DNA tests until a warrant was issued for him to take one to match the DNA underneath her son's nails, and she claimed that it came back positive, although we would later find out that it was deemed inconclusive. But aside from that, it was something else that she said that was interesting, which was they already knew Big U was guilty of something because when her son passed away first, Big U didn't bother reaching out to the mother, nor did he even go to the funeral. So no, this don't mean Big U 100% did it, but it is a little weird that someone who was a friend of your son, a best friend at that, and was at your personal home all the time, and signed to your record label, passes away, and not only do you not reach out to the mom, but you don't even go to the funeral. Why? Now, he attended his hearing today after pleading not guilty, where pre-trial detention was held, and it was ultimately up to U.S. Magistrate Judge A. Joe Richland on whether he was released or not. And after hearing arguments for and against his release, Judge Richland determined they would keep Big U behind bars until trial. Prosecutors argued that Big U is a threat to the community, and if he's released, then there is a possibility he will tamper with witnesses and victims. And when you're dealing with someone of Big U's caliber, this is expected. He's already documented as a known gang leader within a huge gang organization, so that alone shows he has power and enough of it to have others to do things for him if he ever needed them to. The feds can't risk that type of influence in the streets amongst witnesses and victims, knowing that it could mess up a whole case. And honestly, if he's in jail, it's still a possibility that something could happen being he is who he is, but it's a little less likely as long as he's incarcerated. Now, if you're confused as to why, well, Big U don't only have a history of getting on camera and telling the world who he is and what he does, but in the indictment, here's what one excerpt explaining Big U would say. It'll say, quote, "Times described defendant as a leader of the gang, and little has changed as defendant has aged." As he states in many interviews, when asked about any gang tattoos, quote, "It ain't on you, it's in you." Indeed, defendant's gang ties run deep in his blood. Defendant has loudly recounted the terror he instilled for years. In various interviews, defendant recounts selling narcotics, taking a percentage of all legal activity in the neighborhood, leading the body snatchers kidnapping crew, and eventually going to prison, where he immediately claims to have paid off the guards and taken a percentage of drug sales. Now, when you hear that, the first thing you think about is that they got that from social media somewhere or an interview, whether it was a Vlad interview or something, but he definitely had no problem being braggadocious when it came to flexing his power. And this is why I tell y'all, stay off social media when it comes to street business. Stop going live, stop putting your business in songs, because as you see, whether it can be used 100% or not, they do bring it up in court, and all they gotta do is paint you as a criminal. And as long as they can back it up, it's no telling what a jury might say against you if they feel you are a career criminal. Now, May 9th, 2025 will be the nearest update within Big U's case, because that's when he'll return back to court in downtown Los Angeles for his pre-trial conference. Now, for y'all that don't know what a pre-trial conference is, it's a court hearing where the prosecutor and defense attorney meet to discuss the case and determine if it's going to continue to go to trial or if a plea agreement can be reached. And what happens is, normally that's where defendants figure out what plea they're getting, and then they'll decide whether they want to take it or not. Most people take the plea agreement because if you blow trial, that plea agreement is no longer an option, and the punishment is usually double if you are found guilty. And as y'all know, the feds don't play, especially when it comes to trial. You thinking they don't have certain evidence and everything's cool until you get to trial and they pull a rabbit out the hat. And now you stuck because you know that it's basically over. It's nothing you could do. At that time, it's way too late. So once again, most people just end up taking the plea agreement because that's the smartest thing to do. Now, in certain people cases, the time, some people see it as too much and they say they can't do it. And some people feel that they got nothing to lose anyway because it's too much time. So we don't know how much time he's looking at. We don't know the plea agreement, but judging from the charges he got, it's going to be pretty steep. I'm thinking anywhere from 10, 15, maybe higher than that. Who knows? But here's the scary part. I don't know if y'all forgot, but they're alleging that they're trying to reopen Nipsey Hussle's case back up, and Big U is being considered as a suspect in that case, according to some close sources. If y'all remember, Adam 22 have already confirmed that he was questioned in regards to Big U, and alluding that it may be some correlation to him and Nipsey's case, according to the feds. And then we will learn that Big U not only had a known feud with Nipsey before his passing, but was also friends with Eric Holder, who was charged as the shooter in Nipsey's unaliving. So like I say, y'all, it's a lot going on. We don't know how true it is yet. I guess we just have to wait and stay tuned, but for now, let us know in the comments if y'all think Big U may have a chance or he might be cooked. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm going to keep on dropping. And I'm out.